right, let's see if we get anybody in here. Okay, says I'm live. All righty. A few things adjusted here. Hopefully we'll surprise some people by being on here on Friday night. I don't know if I don't know how many we'll get chatting in here, but we'll try. We'll try and see how many we can get to come in. Let me see if I can get that light adjusted. Okay, we're getting a couple in here. Let's see if I got my chat going. Not anybody chatting yet, but I got a couple of people in. Hey, Junior, how are you? Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I'm up here at the Napa Store here on a Friday night. Just gonna check it out and see if I can get a few people in here and see how everything goes. Hope the signal's good. Hope the sound's good. We're back over here. We got a good upstream and downstream on my Spectrum system over here, so it's doing good. Okay, doing good. I hope so. I like to be able to put out a good video. That's good enough on this end. I can see I have no hair. I got these lights overhead and everything, these LED lights, and they reflect down through here. I usually have a little bit of something that looks like I have hair, but tonight not so much. But I'm getting older, so it's one of those things. That's what happens when we get old. That's what happens when we get older. That hair gets thinner. Yeah, we're getting a couple of people jumping in here. Hopefully we'll get some in here want to chat. I just wanted to bring them up to date. I'm up here. Yeah, you're waiting on the weather. Now, Junior, where are you at? Now, you're in, is it Mississippi? I'm trying to remember. I try to keep these in my head, but I can't remember everything. Yeah, I had a good old supper out here too. My daughter brought me out a what we call a Lottaburger here in North Carolina, over here in the Cherryville area. It's 2 big cheeseburgers with a order of fries and everything. It's really good. We got some good restaurants, and they do it with good fresh ground meat, not the McDonald's or the prepackaged meat that you get in some of these restaurants. It's really a good meat that's substantial too, and it like a quarter. Well, it'd be more than a quarter pounder. Quarter pounders taste like the bottom of my shoe sometimes. I think I'm not a big McDonald's fan or in any of the fast food. A lot of the fast foods are not that good. I like a good fresh ground meat, somebody that's actually made the patty and that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm used to over here in North Carolina, and it works out pretty good. So what kind of big old supper did you have, Junior? Now, and tell me where you're from again, Junior. I'm trying to place these. I've got a lot of them online that I know where they're at, but some of them I can't remember exactly where they're at. So you'll have to refresh my memory. Once I get it kind of in my brain, I can kind of keep up with it. Okay, so you had a potluck, I guess is what they call it. You had a potluck dinner, whatever she put in the pot, and you ate it and everything. So I've had some of those too. Just make sure you compliment the chef if it tastes good, and go about your business there. You don't want your luck to go bad by getting hit by a pot or a pan. Mississippi. Okay, I thought now northern Mississippi or southern Mississippi. I used to go to Memphis and go through. I used to have a run to go to Jasper, Alabama, and then every once in a while I would have to run on into Memphis and do a triangle off of it too. But we skirted the oh gosh, I'm trying to think the road it was. I can't think on top of my head, but they built the new. Well, you would get into Birmingham, kind of skirt 65 north, and then go left on a. I don't know, it was like 278, but it wasn't 278. I don't think it was, or 75, something, or I can't remember. But it was a 2-lane road for a long time, and then they 4-laned it, and they 4-laned it all the way out to 65. I've heard, and it's really nice now. And it goes all the way up to Mississippi and to Memphis. So I don't know. I don't know exactly which area you're at in Mississippi, but I know I've been through a little bit here and there. Hadn't been all over Mississippi, although I'm going to take uh, your central more closer to north. Okay, okay, you grew up near Oxford. Okay, that gives me a ballpark idea of where you're at. Yeah, I'm going to go on a trip in March and April, and we got a big Napa thing that we're going out to Vegas, and my wife and I are planning on just driving out. We're not going to fly. She doesn't like to fly anyway, and she wants to see a good bit of the United States. So we're going to take about a month off. Well, not really off, but we're going to take a month going out and back, probably, or 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it takes. We'll judge it. We'll kind of wing it, and if we get out there faster or want to come back faster, that'll be our prerogative. It's one of those things. Um, so we're going to do that in a few months. But what I was going to say, we're going to go up to Muscle Shoals. I want to go see. I like old music and everything else like that. So I'm going to go up to Muscle Shoals and see the Alabama Music Hall of Fame and see where the Swampers, as they call them. Okay, you live 20 miles west of Winona. Okay. Hey, Ponca, glad to see you in here. Yeah, you didn't know I was going to be on a Friday night, did you? I'll still be on Sunday too. I'll be over here on Sunday, but I'm over here working. I'm upgrading some computers. What I've got, I'm building me a server so I can upload videos quicker and everything. And what I did, I bought an older Mac Pro. Now, for the guys that are not real familiar with it, that the Mac Pro came out in 2006, I think, originally, and it was a tower. It's a big tower, and it's big and it's heavy, but they really built it nice. I mean, Mac really did a real good thing with it. And what I did, I got a 2009 version, and I bought one that had the processor had been upgraded, and then I bumped it up a little bit beefier than that. It's got two 3.33 megahertz processors with 64 gig of RAM, terabyte hard drive, and I can take it on up to like 12 terabyte. Really good way of doing a server type thing, so I can, and it's fast because I had a video that I was uploading to YouTube at my house. And of course, my Wi-Fi sucks at my house. I'll tell you that. I've got UVerse, which is terrible. But I started uploading it. It wasn't that long of a video, or maybe 15 minutes or something like that. And it started at 8 o'clock in the afternoon, and 8 o'clock the next morning, it had only uploaded 30% of it. So I said, this sucks. And uh-oh. Well, Junior, if you got to go, that's fine. Hey, Greg, how are you? I understand. You go back and relax and enjoy yourself. But I'm just going to chat in here a little bit, see who all wants to get on talk, but that sort of stuff. But if I don't see you anytime soon, I'll be back on Sunday morning. I'm going to jump back on Sunday morning. So, just jump back in here at 9 o'clock my time, Eastern time, Sunday morning. I'll be back on the airways here. Man, that is slow speed. What's slow speed? You talking about the megahertz and everything I was talking about. If it's that, it's not slow. Well, it's slow speed on the upload now. But what I was going to say on the upload, like I said, it was taking forever. But over here, I brought it over here with this new Mac, and I did the same thing in 15 minutes. And that's why I'm trying to beat this up and everything. And it's really working good. But yeah, the upload was terrible on the Uverse. And the Spectrum system I have over here, I've got a little bit bigger, more powerful. Yeah, that was slow. It was terrible, and that's one of the reasons. Like I said, I've decided to go ahead and start doing all my uploads of any kind of edited video or anything. Bring it over here, put it on that server, and upload it faster. And because I was waiting all night to get some of this stuff uploaded, and it was terrible. And now I can upload it fairly fast. I can put a 20, 30-minute video up and get it uploaded and processed and maybe 30 minutes or something like that through YouTube, which is a lot better than what I was up against. And that's why I've done this server that way. I've kind of processed it, jumped up there and tried to do that. I'll do it then. Good luck to you too, and see you around Sunday. You got bad weather coming in, Greg? I hate to hear that. Now, Greg, you are located where? Now, are you in Colorado? Am I reading that right? Oh, you're in West Alabama. How do I have you in Colorado? I got somebody out there in Colorado. I can't remember who it is. So you're in Western Alabama. So you're over near Anniston in that area? Oh, you're in Jasper. I used to go through Jasper. That's when I was telling Junior a while ago. I used to go to Jasper. Now, what is the road that goes from Jasper back down to Birmingham now? It used to be a 2-lane, and they've made it into a 4-lane that kicks over there on the 65 now. The other west, yeah. What is? Do you know the road? You know what I'm talking about, Greg? Is it 22? Okay, maybe it is 22. I couldn't remember. For some reason, I had it in like the 70s or something, like a 70, 74, 75, 76 or something like that. I don't know. Oh, you looking for snow in Oklahoma tomorrow? Wow, it must be coming this way. I hate to hear that, because if y'all guys get it, we'll probably get it later on, especially if Alabama gets it. Now, are y'all expecting snow or ice or sleet or whatever in Alabama? Okay, it's old 78. Okay, so maybe that's what I had. For some reason, I had a 7 or something in my mind. Let me sit up here. I get in this chair and I get too comfortable. I'll slide further and further down. But yeah, I used to cut through there and then go up. The 78's a 2-lane part. We used to have to. Well, I couldn't even get on 65. I mean, I got on 65 for a little bit, and I'd cut across. I remember I went almost like a residential area almost. Of course, they kind of stopped us for a while when I was pulling doubles through there. Thunderstorms and a possibility of tornadoes. Ooh, not good. Yeah. So is it getting colder, or is it just if it's thunderstorms? I guess it's a mixture. There must be a cold front coming through or something. Don't know. Now, Ponco, what part of Oklahoma now? You're gonna have to help me out when I head west now in a couple of months. I'm gonna. Okay. Yeah. They were building that new highway. Now this has been. I'm trying to think. It's been probably 10, 11 years ago since I was down there running that run into Jasper, because I had 08. Yeah, every bit of it. Yeah, 122. Okay. Is it I-22? Okay. Hey, Trucker Sean. Yeah, we're in here chatting on a Friday night, and Usually it's on Sunday morning when we do our track, and we still will. Okay, Oklahoma Kansas border. Now, how far are you from where Chris Richards lives, Ponca? You see Chris in here every once in a while. Chris is probably fooled that I'm even on tonight. He's probably out doing. He had some videos posted. Uh, yeah, yeah, they were building it back then. Like I said, I used to have to go through that 78 up there to Jasper, and it was a little bit curvy. I mean, I remember getting on it one time going up to Memphis, and it was foggy. Golly, was it foggy? And I had a GPS system. This is when GPS systems were just getting out good, and I had one on the truck, and I was following the GPS when it came to the curves. I knew where I was with by looking at that. Oh, you're about 4 to 5, 6 hours away from him. Okay, yeah, but the GPS saved me on that curvy 78 because I knew somewhat where the curves were, but I didn't run it enough to have all these memorized, and it was tough. But that GPS, I mean, I kept it slow, and it showed where the curves were, so I knew that I better curve like that, and it saved me. So you're an hour and a half from Wichita, okay? Uh, have you got any linemen out there? Ponca may be too young to the Wichita lineman, Glenn Campbell. Uh, so those linemen out there would probably be cold if you got snow coming in. That's for sure. But yeah, I remember using that GPS. Like I said, that's when GPS. Not everybody was using them in trucks, and about everybody does now, sort of. But it was showing there was a pretty good size one, and it showed the curvature of the road real good. The way I had it set. I think it a Garmin. I can't remember, but it saved my butt on a foggy night. I know that. I was real pleased to have that GPS, and you have to use every piece of technology you can get nowadays, and then too. I mean, unfortunately, we're getting too much technology in some of the trucks. We're getting, right now we have the well, hey, Jersey trucker, glad to see you in here. Yeah, we're just in here chatting away on some things. Just a Friday night special for me. I'm usually not out here on Friday night, but I was telling some of the guys I'm updating a older computer, and you know, trying to upgrade a computer and do a few other things, and just chit chatting about the way I used to do things. That's you know us old truckers, we like to tell the tales of how it used to be and what we were doing and that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm doing. Thank goodness I'm not on the road as much as I used to be. I still get out there occasionally. I don't at my age and my mileage that I've had, I don't like to get out there like I used to. Trucking's a good profession, and we just it's sort of coincidental. One of the young guys that's going to be one of my partners we're switching with that we're bringing on. We got his CDLs today. He went out and got his CDL, and I was real tickled with that. I trained him. He got his permit, and I trained him, and we found a school up here in the Hickory area that would they were authorized, and they could give him the test after we trained him, and he didn't have to go to truck driving school because he actually works for NASCAR. He's I'd show y'all guys one day. I'd put his picture up or something. He's the gas man for the 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports. So if you like NASCAR and you want to kind of have a little connection that through me or via me or whatever, Landon Walker is the gas man for the 24 car of William Byron. So if you like that connection, I mean, not everybody likes NASCAR. A lot of people do. A lot of people don't. So but I thought I would bring that connection in. And here in my, the good thing about that, and I'll have to show you all the front of the store one day. Landon's been able to secure a lot of good memorabilia for me for the Napa. So I've got a lot of stuff off Chase Elliott's car, and Landon actually, when Chase Elliott was coming up through the ranks, when he was in the Infinity uh, race series, I guess it was Nationwide Infinity, whatever, the lower tier. Uh, we used to call it Bush Series way back, but when he was in that division, Landon was actually his gas man on that car. He's a gas man for Hendricks, but they job him out to Junior Motorsports. So when they have these, I guess they call them the combo races or whatever, when they're both of them are at the same track, that he will be the gas man for one of the uh, Junior Motorsports cars. Last year he had the number 9 car. Years before that he had Elliott Sadler before Elliott retired. And like I said, and then when Chase was coming up before he jumped up to the Sprint Cup, I don't know what to call it now. Oh God, not one of them have improved their lot. You better get on that. We have to do the same thing. Uh, well, these ELDs are tough, but anyway, I guess I better finish up my story on that. But anyway, the connection I was saying for my Napa store is that Landon's able to get all this great stuff. I got a hood, a quarter panel, a door, and his suit. I got a Napa suit out here. When he was in the Infinity, he gave me one of his old suits. So we got it in what they call a shadow box and everything. So it's pretty cool. And we're proud of that. And we're able to it gives a connection with Napa and racing and everything else. Since we're down here not too far from Charlotte, and we're able to get a lot of all these race teams are within 30-40 miles of us, so it can be very easy to get access to that. And because Napa is a big sponsor for NASCAR and for Hendrick Motorsports, we're able to get access down there too. We have a lot of our meetings until they built the new warehouse, and I kind of hate it because I enjoyed going down to Hendrick Motorsports, and if we wanted to see a pit crew practice or whatever, we'd do that. And then my connection with Landon, I could always walk over and talk to him, and because he'd be practicing or pit box work or something, and I could get him, or he would stop in and see us over at Napa, at the Napa meetings. But the Napa, I mean the Hendrick complex down there. If you ever get a chance to come to Charlotte, and you want to see something pretty amazing and pretty neat, because they've really got a nice complex down there, and you can actually go in and there's no charge to see them when they're practicing the pit stops and everything. And you can kind of just check in with the store down there. They have a gift shop store, and they can kind of let you know. And of course you'll hear it in the background too. You'll hear the cars revving up and practicing, and they'll go around and practice, making sure they're fueling right and everything else, which is neat. I actually got a video. If y'all want to search back, I've got an old clip of them actually doing that down there at Hendrick Motorsports. But yeah, it's a neat system. But getting back, I better get back to trucking. I got more truckers in here, so I'm not in NASCAR right now, but I always try to just have a relationship of a lot of different things. Like I said, because of my trucking relationship and the Napa and everything else, it's I kind of let everybody know where I stand on things and what all I'm involved with. I'm involved with a good many things, but like I said, getting. You like NASCAR? Okay, well, good. All right. Well, I got a little bit. Like I said, I'll have that connection if you from time to time. And I've got a old video on there where if you want to see, if you go back into my old videos, I've got one of me and Landon. Actually, I'm training him. Last year, I was out training him when he first got his permit. Yeah, I like to, you know, I like to be diverse. And a lot of truckers like a lot of people in the trucking industry. They like NASCAR, and I know I used to listen to it a good bit. And I'm the same age as Dale Earnhardt, and actually, like I said, didn't grow up too far from him out here. I mean, Dale just lived like we say down here in North Carolina, just right through the woods over there. He lived over around Mooresville, and Mooresville is only about 25, 30 miles from here. So, yeah, he was known on the short tracks and everything around here before he made it big. Uh, well, Chris, you did make it in here. The guys, if me, I want to tell y'all guys something. Me and Chris are kind of going neck and neck on our subs. And if you sub on my videos, please go over to Chris too, because we're both neck and neck right now. And Chris is a good friend, and I want his subs to grow with mine. We're both almost identical, I think. We're small channels. I got like 445. I think Chris a while ago. I just flipped through and checked it, and he was at like 442. So I knew when he got on here, I wanted to give him a shout out because I want everybody to help us grow and get our channels up good. Chris has got a lot of good projects. He's working on a Corvette that I don't know how he's going to get back together. Yeah, we're both shooting for 1,000, and that's what we're trying to do. Chris and I are just under 500, both of us, and we both want to get up over 1,000. And once we do that, the algorithm. I've been trying to study it and everything else. The algorithm will do that, trucker. Uh, Oh, you're at 953. Okay. Well, so you know what I'm talking about. I mean, we need to get over 1,000, and then you can get monetized too, for one thing. But it's not so much the money. I want my channel to grow, and if we can get it up there where it is a monetized channel, and the algorithm gets better, then it seems to really grow fast. Then that's exactly right. Now there's a man that's got about 25,000. 25 or 30,000 as JC just jumped in here. And yeah, the first 1,000 is tough to get. And that's where Chris and I are. We're down there. We're down there about, like I said, just under 500. And so we're I want to help him grow and me grow at the same time. And I feel like, no, it's not all based on content. It's the algorithm, and of course, you gotta put content out there. And Chris does a lot. He's like I said, I don't know how he's going to get that Corvette back together. And believe it or not, Chris, the guy that works for me here at Napa, one of the guys, he was telling me, he said, "Yeah, I blew up the engine in my what has he got? Not a Silverado. He's got a it's a four-wheel drive, like big SUV. I'm trying to think the name of it. Anyway, it's a four-wheel drive SUV that he's got, big one, and he blew the engine in it yesterday." And I said, "Is that an LS engine?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I got a friend that's got one in a pickup that he just bought, and he's talking about putting it in a Corvette." So I was telling him about that, and I actually showed him your video and everything. He said, "Yeah, that's the engine I need right there." So yeah. So 3 people have already built the LS Corvettes, and you'll be okay. Now, is the engine? I thought the engine was good in that Corvette you had, or is it just too computerized for you? Is that what the problem is? Is it too computerized to make it worth your while? I know that dash. Whew. I believe you ought to just strip it out and make it like a truck dash, just a couple old S and S&W gauges in there. You got a 5.3 in your 95 Mustang. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like, yeah, everybody, yeah, the guys see JC's got some great projects and everything. He's working on his homemade wrecker. I watched that last night and everything. He's got the 3 airbags out there, and he's had to tear out everybody's old welding and re-weld it. And JC's inventive. I like JC. That's one thing I like to. That's what got me started on watching JC, because you know, he does things that is not the average person doesn't do. I mean, uh, also you're putting the steering column and the cluster from the truck. Okay. All right. Well, that ought to work then, I guess. I just, I know that when you open that door on that vet and you see all that dash tore apart, you want to go, I don't know. I don't even know if JC would want to take a hold of that project. And JC's a hell of a wire. Yeah, it's just one of those things that, yeah, I saw your interior. Oh, are you? You out? Oh, that's good. That's good. 27-foot tandem drive axle rollback. Wow, that's gonna be a pretty good hefty little load for it then, won't it? Yeah, it's good that you went back and re-welded everything. You getting a curve and crack one of those welds. What that other guy, whoever the other guy had, he didn't. He had that on with chewing gum and a prayer, didn't he? Yeah, JC with for the guys that haven't seen it, JC had one in the guy that it put the airbags on there, and it looked like he was doing yard furniture or something when you just spot weld something. And you know, JC had to go back there and really lay the beads on it and weld it up good. And which is, I guess you got some more work done to it too, or if you I guess you had to take off. I don't know if you had to go tow that thing. Yeah, you got to just autocorrect off iPhones. It'll get you in trouble. Okay, so you're using the body control module, making it all. Okay, so you're using so you're going to take the wiring harness uh, and everything else out of the truck and put everything on that LS motor into the vet. And then with that cluster and everything kind of line up right and look okay in there, you think? I guess you can just modify it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Ponca, you take care, and I'll see you Sunday. Maybe I'll be out here on Sunday morning. Yeah, you be out. I'll get out here. Yeah, that was a undertaking getting that. I guess you got it feeling comfortable now, have you, JC? Stupid boy. Who is stupid boy? I have not seen. I even hate to call your name out like that. I hate to be saying somebody's a stupid boy out there. Okay, but glad you're in. Uh, SB, and that way we won't. I never know some of the nicknames or the handles, as the old CV people used to say. That used to be everybody had a handle, and mine was Switcher way back when I was on the road, because I was a yard switcher early on in my age. When I first started, and I used to be a yard switcher at Carolina Freight. This company that you see over my head here, y'all can see those Carolina Freight trucks. There's an old B model Mac and a couple set of doubles and a book and a few other things. That's the company that I started with back in '67. I want to see the changes you got coming, JC. It's interesting. You know, of course, you've seen my record that I have. You know, I've got the one it's got the Honda engine, which works the hydraulic, and we're actually going to change that out too. We're your cotton top. Okay, yeah, it's Yeah, it's I remember all the handles. Well, I remember a few of them and everything, but I don't use a CB much anymore. I might hook one up when I go out west. I don't know, just for safety's sake, or have one that I can hook up if I'm going out there. Of course, cell phones are so prevalent, and you don't have to worry about things. I don't even know if I. Of course, I'm gonna be in my BMW. I don't think my wife wants me to take her BMW and run a bunch of wires and an antenna out through it either. So we'll see on that. Yeah, yeah. I had white hair as a kid, and I'm getting it back for some reason or other, guys. I don't know how that is. Yeah, my hair is getting whiter. Yeah, yeah. That's we're thinking about. We had a truck that had a bad wreck a couple of months ago, and we couldn't tow it out ourselves either because we needed something with a undertow, or the lift underneath, and we're kind of tired. We've torn up some stuff pulling stuff backwards. If it's got uh, saw a Chevy truck with a CB on it. Yeah, you don't see many CBs out there. Uh, you'll get some old school guys, and really when you get out on the road, there's a lot of people are not using CBs anymore. So I mean, in the heyday of the CB before cell phones kicked in, I mean, gosh, you couldn't hardly get on a channel, and everybody was trying to put a linear amplifier on it so they could overpower you and that sort of stuff. And so it was different. So you're going to do electric over hydraulic, okay? Yeah, and that would be good. Now, what we're going to do, we bought 10 new trucks. We bought 10 new Freightliner, well, not new, new to us, Freightliners the other day, and every one of them have the uh, external diesel motor. What am I trying? Not the CPU. I'm losing my train of thought. That runs the auxiliary heater and everything. Anyway, we don't need that we don't run team runs. Uh, so we're going to take one of those off because it's diesel and put that on the back behind the cab of the truck and make that so that will run the auxiliary instead of the little Honda engine we got now, and it's gas and that sort of stuff. So we're gonna uh, what we're gonna do is put that diesel engine back there and then replumb it, back over to the rest of it. But yeah, uh, it's different, and we may try to do that with another one too if we can. I've got some other ideas. Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good when you got something that's easy to swap back and forth. I mean, that's the whole purpose of having something like that with a big, what they used to call a big bin. And you know, we used to use the old type big bins that had the sort of like what you've got, JC. That they had the swinging boom underneath, and you can actually yours isn't fifth wheel to fifth wheel. You can actually pick up something from the front, and if it had an undertow, like those big undertow units they've got now, those things are fantastic. My nephew has one on a truck, and he built it all stationary. But gosh, those companies that uh, they want what 35,000 for those things. Pretty hefty little fee. Yeah, that's right. Every truck that JC has is for sale. A Zach lift. I hadn't. Is that a brand, JC? Zach lift. I haven't seen that, but I'll have to check that out. But it's good to have one, like say one of those undertows, because you won't tear up the fairings and everything. And what we've run into pulling these trucks fifth wheel to fifth wheel and backwards, you'll tear the air fairings up every single time, it seems like. Yeah, I know it. I've not seen anybody that's. I've tried to see if I can find one used or something like that that somebody wanted to upgrade, but I can't seem to find one. There's a couple of companies that I looked at, and even though what's the one that used to Holmes, I think, the one that make Holmes record has it too. Yeah, the underreach. Yeah, yeah. How much are they running? Probably around the same thing, about 35, 40,000. That's usually what most of them are running, but they are neat. I've got a good truck I could put it on. I have a Freightliner that has a C15 engine in it, an '06 or 7, and more than that, huh? Okay. Yeah, I've seen the ones I've seen were about I priced some at about 35,000, and they probably have gone up. I haven't priced them in a couple of years, but that is one way to go. And I may need to do this. We're buying all these trucks now, and I'm taking a lot of these trucks off. I'm taking a lot of these Freightliners, these '07s and '06s off off the road. And we got a couple though we just overhauled. I got one or two I need to overhaul. So we've made the decision just not overhauling them and just sell them. Yeah. Yeah. You don't see Jonathan tow much with the big rigs, do you? I've seen him. I don't watch his channel as much, but I've seen him tow the small stuff and rollbacks. Yeah, I got a few flat tops. I've got probably I got 5 or 6, I think, flat tops, uh, and that don't have all the air fairings and everything. Similar to that one I sold you. Although that one I sold you had the big, I think that one had the big air fairing on the top too, didn't it? It wasn't a double bunk, but it had that huge air fairing. Yeah, the ones I've got now don't have all that big air fairing. They've got just like a air shield, it's easily removed and everything. But I've got a couple like that, and I've got we overhauled 3. We got one we're getting out of the shop right now. We should have it on the road, but they've got me so penalized with insurance now that I have to go to these new ones with the forward collision mitigation system on it. And if I don't do that, my insurance jumps from $2,000 deductible to $15,000 deductible. And then if I don't have another little part of it, it goes up to $25,000 deductible. And a couple of these little wrecks, and we've had some in the past couple of months. We've had some guys that pulled over and sideswiped a car and just tore the side of a car off, and things like that. Going to end up costing me about 10 grand out of my pocket, probably, if not more. I don't know how much they're going to. Hadn't got the bill on it yet on the one, so we'll find out. Yeah, yeah. I've got that, and I've got I'm gonna be pulling them over here at the Ford dealership or the Napa store. I got a big car lot out here, so I'm gonna be pulling them over here, cleaning them up, and selling them on there if I can. Yeah, JC is always the mysterious one. Yeah, yeah. My buddy, I was telling you, Chris, about that your engine. And I told him, I said, yeah, there's one. I think yeah, that's just what I need. He said, where's that guy at? I said, Kansas. He goes, a little far to drive. I said, yep, a little far to drive. I don't know. We're supposed to, we set all that up, and the U-Haul's going to be out here. I mean, I got the space. I need to get something to keep my guys busy. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that. And they're wanting me to sell some U-Haul trucks. So heck, I've got the space. I'll do it. And we'll see if we can make $1. I've got it in a separate account over there. So if it makes $1, it makes $1. If it don't, it don't. And if it can drive some traffic over here, that's what I'm more interested in that than I am anything else, because hopefully I can sell more trailer hitches and trailer straps and different accessories and stuff like that. If people are needing some things, and that way it will tie in with the store. And that's sort of my point of view. I don't know how much is to be made with the U-Haul stuff. Yeah, well, see, I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to be my guys are going to be doing it. It's not going to be me so much, JC. I mean, I like keeping my guys busy here at the store. Instead of them sitting at the counter looking at YouTube videos, I like for them to be able to do something. So the busier I can keep them, I'm not going to have to. It's not going to be an investment on my part. I'm not investing one penny, not one penny. So it's not. There's no any kind of franchise up fee or anything. Basically, I've just signed a contract to do that, and if everybody goes through, fine. If I make a dollar, I make a dollar. If I don't, I don't. So, I'm not going to worry about if there was a cost involved in that. And when the guy came out, so I told my wife, I said, if there's a cost involved, I'm not going to mess with it. That's sort of like a UPS came to me, or the UPS store thing came to me about a year or so ago, 2 years ago, and they said, "Oh yeah, we want you. You got a great location. We'd like for you to do UPS pickup for. I mean, I pick up, so have people come by and drop off packages and everything." I said, "Okay," and we did talking and all kind of stuff. And then the guy says, "Oh, it's only going to cost you." I go, "Whoa, right there." I'm not going to have my guys spend their time packaging your stuff together for your guys to come by and pick it up, and then you charge me. He said, "Oh, well, it's an asset. It'll bring traffic in there." I said, "I don't need it. I don't need it that much. I mean, what little bit it brings me, and in reality, this is why I wanted the U-Haul better than the UPS stuff." I said, most of these, you're going to have a lot of ladies want to drop off a package, and we'll probably have more aggravation with that. Yeah, I know, and I hear that. And if my guys, and we'll revisit it. I mean, I'll be honest with everybody out here on it. If it's a money maker, and I don't expect it to be a huge money maker. If it drives traffic, and then I can, like I said, if I can sell more trailer hitches, if I can sell, wiring harnesses or whatever, uh, straps, you know, accessories of some description, batteries or whatever, then I feel like I may have gained something there. And if it sets out on my lot, I have 4 acres of paid parking that's not being used. If it sits out there and doesn't cost me anything other than, you know, my guys walking down there and hooking up a trailer and or giving keys to a truck, fine. I'm cool with it. Well, hey, Hunter Skinner. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. That's the reason the UPS part wasn't. That's the reason the UPS part wasn't appealing to me. I wasn't going to pay a fee. I mean, if they wanted, I thought about it. I actually asked the guy. I said, "Well, how much are you paying me to do this?" And he says, "Oh, no, no, we don't pay you anything." I said, "Well, I'm not very interested." He said, "You have to pay us." I said, "Well, I'm definitely not interested. I can tell you that right quick." Yeah, but you got to watch making chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's what you got. That's what you got to watch, Chris. Yeah, you don't want. It's hard to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. So, you know, we'll see. I hope I can make lemonade out of lemons or something like that. But we'll see. And it's just like I said, if it were a huge investment, or if it was an investment that basically if it had been any kind of investment, I wasn't going to be interested. Yeah, yeah. Don't make chicken salad that way. That's not very tasty. But we uh, we're I'm always trying to figure out a way to drive more traffic, and we're doing pretty good. I mean, the store, I still like for it to do a lot better, of course. I mean, the store, I'm sort of subsidizing it still, and of course, I've rerouted some things and trying to change things around, and my inventory, I've put the inventory into it. Most of them only last about 6 months. Well, and that's possible. And it may be a situation that 6 months and I may want to be out of it. I've got a friend across town that he's liking it fine, and he actually suggested me. He told the guy was saying somebody was needing something on this side of town, and my buddy on the other side of town that does U-Haul, he said, "Well, go see Mike. He's got the perfect location for it." So he knew about me and wanted, and they evidently do fairly good. Yeah. Well, I mean, it all depends. Everything is whatever you make of it. I think you I've seen guys that couldn't run a McDonald's franchise, uh, or a Wendy's franchise or something like that. That's everybody. I mean, and if anybody fails at a Chick-fil-A, let me know who it is. They're a complete idiot because boy, that's a franchise. That's a franchise that seems to be quadrupling. Every Chick-fil-A that I go see nowadays has got double entry on the drive-through, and they got people out there taking your order as you come in, and got their wireless iPads out there. And uh, I mean, we got one in Belmont down here. I mean, that's the fastest Chick-fil-A I've ever seen in my life. And they I would hate to think how many chicken sandwiches they sell at that place in a day's time. I mean, that is a monster of a moneymaker down there for a food franchise. Uh, it's almost like they can't throw the chicken sandwiches out the door quick enough because they're really at it. That's for sure. But we'll see if the U-Haul thing does. And like I said, I'll keep y'all guys informed and let you know how it does. We'll take some pictures of it. We'll do some videos of it and try to. And maybe one day, Chris, you and I will be up as big as JC, so we can make that. Uh, what is it called? That YouTube poverty money. I think that's what JC calls it, the poverty money. Maybe we can make a buck or two. Because I doubt I ever make a buck on YouTube. But I do like having the channel grow and grow with the algorithm and get more viewership. But uh, I like connecting with everybody and getting my message across. And we're going to try to, you know, YouTube pesos. I knew it was something in there. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. Those pesos. Well, that's a good way of looking at it. Uh, and you don't want to make yourself. I've seen. I know Stephen Cox. I don't know if anybody watches his channel. He's a good young man that does pretty good with some mechanical things. He got kind of shut down on some of his because he had a couple of young boys, his sons, like 10 and 12, 13 years old, were in helping him on some videos, and they cut off part of his channel. So they because he had his children on the channels and all this, I don't know, that new rule they got out about children under 14 or something like that. If they if it's directed toward them in some way, they will. I don't know if I don't think they demonetized him, but they won't let him have comments. They took out his comment section, so you can't make a comment, and it's nothing that he did. You can't. He can't do a live chat, and he can't do a comment. Yeah, he's Stephen Cox, I believe it is, but he's a young guy that he was friends with another guy that was sort of controversial on there, Chucky 2009. I don't know if you've ever seen that guy. And Chucky kind of went wacko on him. Which one you calling the hack? You think Steven is or Chucky? I don't know which one you're speaking of. Um, Stephen, that's all right. Hey, we're just friends. I like getting different opinions on different things. Oh, both. Yeah. The Hack brothers. Yeah. 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 Chucky went a little bit wacko. I mean, I used to watch him. He's an old, he's actually from, he's countrified as he can be, but he's from Ohio originally. And then he moved down to Texas, I think. But then he kind of went wacko. Yeah. 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 There's some people, that I think if you don't come off real, and that's I hope I try to come off. What you see is what you get. So when oh, you just unsubscribed from Steven's channel. Okay, I didn't know. But what I was getting ready to say, you know, JC and I have been chatting back and forth for probably a year before JC came down to North Carolina. Well, I felt like JC and I had known each other for a long time because I hope he realized that I am what I am, and I see that he was the way he was, and I felt very comfortable. Uh, but that's what I think you got to do. You got to come off real, and if you don't come off real, people will see right through that, especially on YouTube, and that's why I am what I am. I'm not anything fancy. I'm not anything. I'm not some rich dude. I've just been a hardworking man out here for 40 years, and I've accomplished a little bit. And I'm not. Uh, I don't like to. I mean, I've accomplished something I think that's worth a little bit of congratulations here and there, I guess you might say. But I'm not looking for a pat on the back, and because the old attaboy don't, I can't spend it. And it's and my daddy used to tell me a lot of times, you can get all these, everybody knows the type. We got all these different types in the world that they want to put every single plaque they can on a wall, and they would rather have more plaques and trophies than they would money in the bank. But I can't spend plaques on the wall, and but it's one of those things. And I like to like I said, I hope my channel comes off as real. I hope when people see me on here, I've got people from my hometown here that have seen me online and everything else, and I hope I come off as a real person, and this is me. What you see, what you see on my channel is what you're going to see in real life. If you feel like I'm a butthole, so be it. I'm a butthole to you online, or I'm a butthole in real life, but I'm the same person, I hope. And I'm never wanting to be pretentious, and or as they used to say, have airs. You got an air about him. How many people I have working for me? I have right now, I've got here at the Napa store, we have 5 or 6. I had to count. Eric, let me get my fingers out. Let's see. I got Eric, Tim, Richard. I got 5. I got 5 here at the Napa store. I got 5 guys here at the Napa store. One sort of a flex guy that does a couple different things for me. I'm down to 3 mechanics, but I got one that's like having 2 or 3. JC knows who I'm talking about there, Big Larry. Him and Jim both are real hustlers, and we had up to 5 mechanics at one time, and I kept getting some. Well, let's put it this way: these 2 that I have are really good mechanics, and they're really dedicated, and they don't really want me to hire anybody else right now to help them. They like working together, and they're happy with what I do, the way I do it, and we try to treat them fair. And so I got those two, and then my drivers. Oh gosh, I had to check the list. I think I have it's about 35 drivers. Uh, I had to really look. I don't have a head count that I can give you, but I think I have 35 drivers on staff, and then me and my wife and my daughter in the office, and then Christy, uh, that's Landon's wife, that she works for us too in the office, and of course, she works at her office. We let her do remote work because she just had a baby, but she manages uh, the ELDs and the a lot of the safety stuff and everything like that with the trucking. So I guess 35, 40, about 45. I have about 45 employees, and then myself. I'm not an employee, I guess. I do get a salary, so I guess I am an employee. Hey, Mike, how are you doing? I'm trying to do pretty good. Trying to do pretty good. Just hanging in there. We're talking trucking and wreckers and Napa stores and YouTube and upgrading computers and a little bit of everything. And so we're trying to we're hitting the gambit of a whole lot of different things out there. So we try to stay busy, and it's a job. It's a job out there. I mean, especially this time of year, freight starts falling off for every trucking line. I don't care what trucking line you're at, the volume falls off a good percentage, after the Christmas rush. It has for 50 years that I've been in the business. So it's not anything that's one dimensional for one carrier or anything. Most of them, JC, we'll see you. I'll catch some more videos of yours online about that record. So everybody go out there, and if you're not subscribed to JC, definitely go subscribe to JC. And everybody that's ever seen anything built, JC's a good one. JC's a good project man. Does a lot of has a lot of great ideas. I told him last night I might have to steal a few ideas from him on his record that he's building, and with some modifications on mine. But that's the way it goes. Yeah, yeah, he's a good fabricator. Yeah, JC's a good fabricator, and uh, so that's just don't let anybody pick on his son, or he'd be an agitator instead of a fabricator. I saw him. He was on a live feed about a year or so ago, and some dude crossed him. I thought JC was going to go ballistic on somebody out there. He was really, he really. I wouldn't want to be in that guy's shoes. I'll say that. Yeah, yeah. JC is a good resource for a lot of people that want to, especially Ford. JC's been a good project man, and that's how I saw his channel out there several years ago. Started watching him, and a couple of times there's two people that have scared me out there. There's JC on some of his stuff with his equipment, and Chris, Chris and Ricky on the Outcast here. Um, Flip a bobcat completely upside down, go get another chain, pull it upside down, and get it back down in there, and flip it over again in the ditch. I'm thinking, dang, boys, that's a bobcat, not a submarine. Now, don't get her in the creek too far. But Chris has done a lot of interesting projects. I haven't seen an update of the basement lately. Has the basement been completed up pretty good? You'll have to do an update on that, Chris, because I think uh, there's probably some out there that would like to see the update of that basement. Of Chris did exactly what my dad did when I was a young boy. And of course, thank God Dad gave up on it, because we were taking buckets of dirt out from underneath our house, and Dad was working underneath the piers and everything else, was going to make a basement in our house. It was actually just a few houses up from where my Napa store is now. And oh, you hadn't finished it? Okay, yeah, but. That's one of those projects. Like I was saying, my dad, uh, he had me and my three brothers underneath that house, digging with army shovels and sticking it in the dirt in buckets and then hauling it back out. That's how we dug we got a little bit of a cellar, I guess you might say. We never did get a full-fledged basement out of it. Thank goodness. Thank goodness Dad decided we're going to build a new house. So he actually, Mom and Dad built a house on the other side of town. And so by the time I was about the third grade, uh, Dad was able to muster the will to get a new house, and I was tickled to death. I was tickled to death, and we still own that. I still own that house. We rent it to a lady, but it's. I'll never forget that as a kid. I had an army shovel. If y'all remember the kind of fold out green army shovels, and I was digging that and putting it in the buckets, handing it to my brothers, and then taking it back out and dumping the dirt outside. Different world then. That's back in the late 50s. That would be about so I was before I was third grade. So that was about 59, 58, 59, early maybe 1960 when we did that. So that's been a while back. That's how old I am, guys. I was a young boy of the, how old would I have been? 9 years old. Dad would have got caught for child labor laws, that's for sure. If we didn't have, they didn't have the rules and regulations back then. You could make your kid do about anything back in 1950 something. Yeah, well, that's right. We had grass a little bit. We didn't. We swept the backyard. We didn't. I don't think we had grass much back there. And my granddad at that same time, that's exactly what his was. They used to not have the underpinning under the houses. The chickens would go underneath the houses so they could get all. And I during my all my trials and everything, I checked on getting maybe being an exterminator one time, and we were going through some classes, and I was just checking on. This is when I was in between ventures, but I didn't get into that, thank God. But I did learn something, and it was talking about the old houses that were up on uh, just up on the block or the rocks back then for the foundation. None of those houses ever had termites, because the termite couldn't get up to the wood that was moist, that had any moisture in it. So you didn't ever worry about having termites or anything like that. And we didn't really get the termites really didn't start getting bad in this area until everybody started underpinning or building basements, so they could congregate, and they would, the termite. If you ever seen a termite tunnel and everything, it would, it'd run up a wall or whatever, and it'll run that wall up till it gets to the wood and gets to the wet wood. Oh, you check it. Oh, okay. Glad you're in here from Portland, Oregon. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of new subscribers and everything. I hope you guys will feel comfortable here on our channel, and uh, just pop on in, say what you want to say. Everybody will chat with you. We have a lot of good, friendly chatters out here, and so we'll do our thing and all that sort of stuff. So I'm glad that, seeing all the different people jumping online. We've had a good group on here tonight, and that sort of stuff. But getting back to the other stuff, we are talking about those old houses. Uh, but that's one thing that I learned. Thank goodness. Yeah, a lot of families went through that too. Yeah, a lot of people. if you're most middle class people, and I would venture to say most of our subscribers and listeners and chatters are of the middle class people. If you came up in the like I did, I grew up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, graduated high school in 69. So, of course, I'm way older than a lot of you guys. But, you know, most people, and I tried to raise my children too. My son is 40. How old is Steve? 40, I think, 46. I think Steve's 46 and my daughter's 48. So we raised them during, a lot of y'all maybe around that age or a little bit younger. And, if you've had a good middle class foundation, you're probably raised right. Middle America is usually raised right, I think. Now we get on the fringe areas of different places, and you get people that get some wild ideas, and I don't understand it. The older I get, I don't understand some of the things that some of the people expect. I mean, everybody shouldn't expect to get something for free. I'm not a get it for free. And a lot of people, I don't know if I'll step on anybody's toes or not, but if you go to college, that's fine. But you should pay for your college. But you shouldn't expect the guy that doesn't go to college to help pay for your college through government assistance or anything else. I mean, it's just not fair. That's like if I go out and buy a new BMW, I don't expect somebody to pay off my BMW because it's an expensive car. You go out and buy a lot cheaper little Chevy Volt or something, half the price. Uh, it's just crazy how the world has gone and some things. So uh, yeah, most people, a lot of people were raised right, and I like the middle America. I like people that are who they are. I don't want to. I mean, I have friends that have never picked up a hammer in their life. Uh, I don't fault them. I kind of feel sorry for them in a way, and I like people that have had skills. And if a person can pick up a welding rod and weld, a hammer and a nail and drive nails, shovel and do something. Uh, I think that has a lot of virtue to that, and has been trained to do that, and has been taught, not necessarily trained, but was brought up saying this is the normal way of doing life. Uh, there's a lot of different levels of dependency out there, and you're going to have people that uh, are not going to be able to fare well themselves because of the fact they're too dependent on somebody else. I mean, it's hey Tango, I'm trying to do good out here. Um, yeah, I know it, and you know, and yeah, you were talking about credit. Everybody, you've got to have good credit, and of course, the only way you can have good credit is to pay everything off. Oh, so you went for diesel tech? Okay, well that's good. Now, which school did you go for, Chris? I know my brother went to Nashville Auto Diesel Tech in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was one of the top-rated schools. It's been sold and everything now because really the little girl that worked in my parts store during summer, she's gone to that school now. I forgot what the name of it is, but you know, uh, learning to be a welder, a carpenter, a diesel tech, automotive tech, anything like that uses normal skills, I think is really good. And people don't have to have. We don't need 50,000 or 50 million lawyers. We don't need uh, especially uh, 50 million psychologists. And that's you've got a lot of people going to college that they're spending mom and dad's money and their money, are borrowing money. They're borrowing money that the government doesn't need to give them, and they're going to get an education that does them no good, and get out and have a job that they can't pay back the educational money. And that's where we're at right now, which is pathetic. Uh, it's if you have a if you look into colleges right now, they're educating people and they're spending upwards of $200,000 for an education that will only pay, when they get out into the job world, may only pay 35 or 40,000. Well, they're in a deficit situation immediately, and it's ridiculous. I mean, if that job would only generate $35,000 a year, well, then that degrees only shouldn't cost them more than $10,000 a year to get it at the most. I mean, it should be tit for tat. In other words, if it will generate 35,000, it shouldn't cost more than 35,000 to get that education, in my opinion. And right now we're having these, like I said, that are going out and getting educations upwards of, I mean, you can look online. I think Duke University to get you can get a social science degree there, and it'll cost you 65,000 a year, not counting room and board. So you're probably looking upwards of 75 to $80,000 per year for H3. That's $320,000. And then you got a social science job that might pay $40,000 a year. Well, that's 10 years worth of money if you paid every penny gross that you made back, which is ridiculous to me. Well, guys, I'm going to get off here. I hope I haven't bored you with my philosophy. Cost you zero, though. That's a good thing about it. Didn't cost y'all a thing tonight. No charge on my philosophy. So I'm going to get off because I've been on here about an hour and 20 minutes, and I got a computer in the next room that I may take a video of that and show you what I'm doing on it. And we'll catch y'all. I'll be out here Sunday, so catch me Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, and I'll talk to you then. See you guys.